No. Everybody in? Everybody in? Good evening. It's November 13th, 2023. Welcome to the Culpeper County Public School Regular School Board meeting, where I guess administration and staff are regulated to the back 4 rows. It must be. Ms. Jameson, all members are present tonight. I would ask everyone to join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We are going to start tonight with our presentations and recognitions for the Culpeper County Public School Teacher of the Year recognition. Ms. Metzger? Dr. Brads.
Good evening. It is my pleasure this evening to introduce to you an incredible group of educators. This group of people has been nominated and through a process within their school building to be chosen as Teacher of the Year. So every one of them is deserving to be here this evening. The process going forward from there, all of them were interviewed by a panel. The panel consisted of retired teachers, former Teachers of the Year, and a community member. And all of them were blown away by the great things that are happening in Culpeper. So it's my pleasure this evening to introduce all of them to you. Okay, we're going to start with A.G. Richardson, Miss Kristen Marini, the gifted teacher from A.G. Richardson. Kristen joined the AGR family 3 years ago with 7 years of teaching experience from neighboring counties. She is an asset to our students and families. One of her goals is to make school a fun place for students, teachers, and families. She has truly embraced this vision and makes learning engaging for all students. Mrs. Marini encourages students to do their best and motivates them to go above and beyond what is expected or required. In addition to serving as our gifted teacher, Mrs. Marini also finds time within her schedule to work with struggling readers once a week. She facilitates several after-school activities for our students, including Math 24, Spelling Bee, and SCA. Mrs. Marini also started a student pumpkin decorating contest based on story characters, which has been a huge success among students and families. Outside of school-related activities, Mrs. Marini enjoys spending time with her husband Andrew and their pup Luna. She's also a master at making French macaroons, which are truly delicious. Kristen is so deserving of this honor and recognition. A colleague shared, she always goes that extra mile, helping out wherever there is a need for students. We are extremely lucky to have her in our building. She's a shining star. We are proud to have Mrs. Marini as a member of our Bulldog family and represent AGR as our Teacher of the Year. Congratulations. Ms. Jessica Corey grade 4 teacher from Emerald Hill Elementary. Emerald Hill is excited to announce Mrs. Jessica Corey is our Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Corey came to work at Emerald Hill as a 4th grade teacher in 2020. She joined us from Fairfax County, where she taught 5th grade. Mrs. Corey received her education degree from Christopher Newport University. During her time at Emerald Hill, she has been a member of our Language Arts Committee, our Cultural Diversity Committee, and our Community Partners Committee. Mrs. Corey is currently our 4th grade department chair. When asked what is her favorite part of the school day, Mrs. Corey expressed her favorite part is building relationships with her students. She enjoys students sharing their stories and information about themselves. She also loves when past students come and continue to share their recent events and successes, even after they've left her classroom. Mrs. Corey is married to a wonderful husband, Francis, and together they attend every staff event. Mrs. Corey enjoys hiking and traveling and participates in CrossFit. She is a positive leader and mentor in our building and is always willing to lend a hand to anyone in need. In her interview, Mrs. Corey noted that she is thankful she ended up at Emerald Hill. However, I hope this award and recognition helps her realize how thankful we are that she is part of our family and the tremendous value we all see she brings to our school and our students. Congratulations, Jessica. Ms. Beth Ferlazzo, the librarian at Farmington Elementary School. Beth is Farmington Elementary's Teacher of the Year. Beth graduated from the best university in Virginia, JMU, with a bachelor's degree in education. After graduation, she spent 8 years teaching kindergarten and 1st grades in Rappahannock and Fairfax counties. She then moved to Farmington Elementary, where she has spent the last 22 years teaching kindergarten, 1st grade, and just this year, fulfilling a lifelong dream of running a school library. Mrs. Ferlazzo has moved this year from being one of our best teachers of reading in 1st grade to working on developing a love of reading for all students. She has brought a new energy to the library, ensuring that all of our children are encouraged and able to find books that bring them joy. Ms. Ferlazzo says, "I love when students are excited to tell me about a book that they've read and are eagerly asking for the next book." Mrs. Ferlazzo has 2 wonderful daughters, Kirsten, who attends the University of South Carolina, and Jillian, who is a junior at Eastern View High School. She is a Girl Scout troop leader and has worked with Relay for Heart for many years. Congratulations, Beth. Sherry Culpeper, reading specialist from Pearl Sample Elementary. I remember when we hired Sherry, we were very excited by her last name. Sherry comes from a family of educators. Her father was a high school teacher and her mother taught preschool. Her 2 sisters are also preschool teachers. Sherry attended Washata Baptist University, where she majored in education with a specialty in early childhood. Sherry has always volunteered to support her community. She has a special love for baseball and ran a Little League program for 10 years. Although her kids are grown, you will still see her out on the baseball field cheering for the Pearl Sample kids. Sherry taught kindergarten for 30 years before coming to Culpeper 6 years ago to become a reading specialist at Pearl Sample. Every day she comes to work with a smile, a positive attitude, and a strong Arkansas accent. She mentors new teachers using her depth in professional knowledge, but more importantly, her ability to connect with people. One teacher wrote, "Sherry is a team player 100% of the time, always looking out for others and does an amazing job when no one is watching. I'm so appreciative for all her help and guidance. She consistently sets up others for success." She is married to her husband, Rick. She has 2 sons, Taylor and Cole, 2 stepsons, Scott and Zach, and just this year, she welcomed Lily, her first grandchild, to the world. Sherry loves spending time with her family, hiking, traveling, watching movies, and cheering on the Razorbacks. Congratulations. Miss Emma Chapman, grade 1 teacher from Sycamore Park Elementary. Sycamore Park is proud to announce that Emma Chapman is our Teacher of the Year. This is Emma's 5th grade, fifth year at Sycamore Park. She is currently teaching first grade after spending 4 years in kindergarten. For the first few years of her teaching career, Emma was also taking classes through Liberty University to become a fully certified teacher. Before starting at Sycamore Park, Emma worked as an assistant teacher for 4 years at the Culpeper Baptist CDC. Emma does a great job building relationships with students and giving them a fresh start each day, even if they've struggled the day before. She is patient, resilient, and flexible, and she provides her students with an environment where they are able to grow as people first, but also academically. She was able to loop up to first grade with some of her students from last year, and the growth that they've made from their first day of kindergarten to where they are now is a testament to her ability and dedication as a teacher. Emma and her husband Zach are both from Culpeper and come from large families, so they always have people to go on adventures with. Emma loves to hike, read, ski, sail, travel, and spend time with her husband, family, and friends. Emma does a fantastic job at Sycamore Park, and we are blessed to have her here. Congratulations. Miss Viola Abbott, ESL teacher, Yale Elementary School. Viola is the Teacher of the Year at Yale. In addition to the title of teacher, she is also wife to Tony and mother to Benjamin. Viola's dedication to teaching spans an impressive 26 years, during which she has made a significant impact on countless students. Viola is best known for her unwavering dedication and strong work ethic, qualities that have defined her long, successful career. Her commitment to her students' success is evident in her efforts to help them overcome language barriers and excel academically. Collaboration with colleagues is another hallmark of Viola's teaching philosophy. She understands the power of teamwork, the sharing of knowledge, fostering a supportive and effective learning environment. This collaborative spirit has contributed to her success as an educator. Perhaps the most gratifying aspect of Viola's teaching career is witnessing struggling students achieve breakthroughs in their learning journey. Her joy in their progress reflects her deep empathy and commitment to the success of every student she encounters. Her genuine care and dedication are what sets Viola apart as an exceptional educator. Viola is committed to education, her students, and her family. Her impressive career and unwavering dedication to her profession have undoubtedly left a lasting impact on the lives of those she has touched. Congratulations. Okay, William Mitchell, better known as Billy, from CMS, English teacher. In the hero's journey, the hero leaves on an adventure, sees the world, learns some hard truths, and then brings that knowledge back to the people. As an English teacher, this is a concept that Billy Mitchell has not only taught for over 2 decades at Culpeper Middle School, it's a path he's been on himself. The son of an educator and a banker, Billy grew up in Madison County. He graduated from JMU as a poli-sci major, then returned to JMU to become an educator. Upon receiving his license, he was hired by Culpeper to teach at CMS. In true hero fashion, however, Billy's been more than just an exemplary educator in the classroom. He's been the English department chair, where he's mentored other educators. He's been heavily involved in developing and promoting the sports programs at CMS and CCHS as an announcer, timekeeper, athletic director, and coach. His passion for sports has also enabled him to volunteer his time on the board of directors for the Culpeper Cavaliers baseball team and mentor young people with Kid Central and Empowering Culpeper. If Billy's not in the classroom, coaching on the golf course, or working on a sports field, he can be found reading, writing, or cheering on one of his favorite sports teams, or playing his guitar. Yes, Billy may have left the Piedmont once, but he returned to educate and empower others, which is why so many of us at CMS have had the privilege of calling him our hero. Congratulations on being the Culpeper Middle School Teacher of the Year. Miss Katrina Ford, math teacher, Floyd T. Binns. Miss Katrina Ford teaches 6th grade math at Floyd T. Binns. She has been at Binns for 5 years and serves as the lead mentor and is the co-lead teacher for the 6th grade team. Mrs. Ford is from Prince Edward County, Virginia. She is married to James and has 2 daughters, Jayla and Caden. She enjoys supporting her family at sporting events, attending trivia nights, going to music events, and playing cards and board games. While living in Prince Edward County, she volunteered with several organizations and has continued her volunteer work in Culpeper with Empowering Culpeper and the Culpeper Cavaliers. Mrs. Ford went to Virginia Tech, where she got a BS in sociology and minored in psychology. Prior to coming to Culpeper, she taught 6th grade history and 7th grade math for 2 years in Prince Edward County. She has also worked as a mental health case manager with Crossroads CSB, a counselor and independent living home supervisor for the Virginia Home for Boys and Girls, and she was a child specialist for the Domestic Violence Emergency Services. Mrs. Ford is kind and always willing to help at BINS. She has done so much for our new teacher program. Mrs. Ford is a school leader who does not hesitate to jump in when and where there is a need. Floyd BINS is honored to have her represent them as the Teacher of the Year. Congratulations. Ms. Cherie Mills, English and Special Education teacher from Culpeper County High School. Ms. Mills, the CCHS Teacher of the Year, is a remarkable educator with a passion for her students. She is selfless when it comes to the well-being of all students, especially those she works closely with on a regular basis. Her empathy, compassion, and patience are just a few of the many attributes that make her praiseworthy. She is always a phone call or I am away when any of her students are in need, and this does not even account for her detailed yet tender and warm-hearted teaching style. Cherie goes to bat for her students and meets them at their level to raise them up and encourage them to succeed. She demonstrates excellent work ethic and goes above and beyond for all students and colleagues. Mrs. Mills graduated from Bridgewater College, where she double majored in English and philosophy. She is dual endorsed in special education and English. She co-teaches as a special education teacher and teaches a section or 2 of English 12, focusing on the seniors who need to pass a verified credit test in order to graduate. She started at CCHS as a substitute and a paraeducator. Prior to education, Cherie was a stay-at-home mom raising her 2 children, Noah and Olivia, both CCHS graduates. Cherie has been happily married to her husband Jeremy for 26 years, and they are expecting their first grandchild. Cherie enjoys birdwatching, gardening, and crushing Jeremy in air hockey. Congratulations. Ms. Caitlin Wenham, special education teacher from Eastern View High School. Caitlin is a remarkable special education teacher at Eastern View High School. She serves as an Algebra 1 teacher, provides essential math and language arts support, and provides educational employment opportunities for her students. She has consistently demonstrated her genuine commitment to all EVHS staff and students. She shows dedication to her work and support to all students, parents, and staff. Caitlin always finds a way to connect with every individual and displays notable respect for each person. This respect is mutual and shared with her colleagues and students. She builds trust and meaningful connections with her students and teaches them to do the same with each other. She loves to see her students engaged in the classroom and finds it rewarding when she sees them meet their educational goals. Caitlin embodies the power of positivity in our school community. She serves as a special education instructional designee, a teacher mentor, and our prom coordinator. Her colleagues describe her as amazing at everything and the go-to person when they need help, a wonderful teacher and mentor. She is a person with phenomenal knowledge of special education best practices. She is a person to look up to professionally and helps us be better teachers. Mrs. Wenham is an individual with great integrity and unparalleled civility who upholds the ideals of communication, collaboration, citizenship, social justice, and advocacy through her daily interactions with our school community. Truly, Mrs. Wenham is an integral part of EVHS and an asset to Culpeper County. Mrs. Wenham is a great representative for the EVHS Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, Caitlin. Miss Sarah Deal, school counselor at Phoenix Alternative Education. Sarah is the Teacher of the Year for Phoenix Alternative Education. She received her BS degree in psychology from Mary Washington University and her master's degree in counseling from the American Military University. She's a 2006 Culpeper County High School graduate and began working in the division in 2013 as a behavior interventionist and school counselor at Pearl Sample Elementary School. She joined the staff at Phoenix in 2019. It is hard to know where to start to describe how important Sarah is to Phoenix. Her instructional knowledge and passion for alternative education and the students and staff she serves makes her an influential and extremely effective member of our team. Among other things, Sarah is responsible for making and modifying the master schedule, serves as our school testing coordinator, creates and monitors our SEL lessons, counsels students, listens to staff concerns, and helps to guide students through making transition presentations to celebrate their successes. She was instrumental in creating our school store, the Phoenix Depot, and helps to run it daily. Sarah is also our school news liaison. She does a great job providing an outline of all the positive things that our students are doing. When she is not at school, Sarah enjoys spending time with her two daughters, Natalie and Reagan. Other interests include gardening, exercising, and hiking. Although she would never seek the attention of being Teacher of the Year, she has definitely earned this recognition. Congratulations, Sarah. Yes, got to cover them. Miss Deneen Hamlet, drafting teacher from Culpeper County, Culpeper Technical Education Center. Deneen is in her third year as the instructor of the CTEC Drafting 1 and 2 program. In addition to her experience as an educator, Deneen brings her years of experience in the field of architectural drafting to the classroom. Her previous work experiences include projects at Baltimore Ravens Stadium and the White House. Ms. Hamlet's number one goal is to provide a safe, inviting, and nurturing environment for all students to be accepted, included, and heard. Her favorite lesson to teach is peer critique because it is as much a social experiment as it is the start of a development of a lifelong process of giving and receiving meaningful feedback. She teaches students to incorporate that feedback into the next innovation of the design process. Ms. Hamlet motivates her students by being their biggest cheerleader and celebrating everything. One of the moments that made her proud happened during a guided tour of CTEC. A businessman on the tour asked about architectural drawings displayed on the whiteboard in the hall near her classroom. Mr. Summerscale shared with him that the drawings were part of a peer critique process that Ms. Hamlet implements with her Drafting 1 students, and that the activity teaches the design thinking process and motivates students to become contributors and facilitators of their learning. The gentleman replied, "I wish that I could get my employees to do that." One of her students, who had been reluctant in this process, overheard the comment and told Ms. Hamlet, "You have us doing grown people work in here." Congratulations, Ms. Hamlet. In your CCPS Tervis tumbler, you will find just a little token, little candy in there for you, as well as you have a little coupon on the outside. You each have $500 to use in your classroom, and the division winner will get an additional $500. So you have $1,000 to spend as you wish. Okay, would you like to, nope, okay. Okay. So we're happy to announce this year the Certified Employee of the Year. This is the envelope from last year, but luckily I know the winner is Miss Viola Abbott. Congratulations. We would like to present you with this token of our appreciation as well. Thank you all. You are prizes, all of you, to all of our students every day, and we appreciate every one of you. So thank you.
That was really cool, really cool.
I didn't get any paper. No. We're just giving a few minutes for people that need to go home because tomorrow's a work day to get there. Congratulations to all of our Teachers of the Year from all of our schools. And there are no principal reports this evening, and I don't believe we have any delegations that have signed up. Is there any delegation that wishes to speak tonight? Then we will move on to the consent agenda. And is there a request? So we are, okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. There are no action items tonight, so we move on to superintendent and staff reports. Our first is superintendent update from Dr. Brads.
Madam Chairman, members of the board, two very, very quick items. The first is just informing the board that we are entering into another year contract of our one-year contract with 4 renewable terms with Spectrum Design Architects and Engineers out of Roanoke, Virginia. They're our on-call A&E firm. We are extending another year with them, as you can see with the memo that I included. This is the second renewal of 4 possible years. We have this set up and the process that if we are happy with their services and they're happy to be working with us, they will continue to do so. Unrelated to this contract, as you know, and I've let the board know, that we have executed the contract with Spectrum Design as they were the responsive proposal to our CMS renovation project. So we will be working with them in greater detail with respect to that project. So I thought I'd mention that as well. The other quick item that I have is that we will be beginning, the board will not meet prior to the start of the survey, but we'll start the budget survey process on December 1st. That will run through the 15th. So just that's a part of the budget calendar. Typically that we do, yes, you have not approved the budget calendar yet, but wanted to let you know that so that in anticipation of the public out there that the budget survey will be coming out 1st of December. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have about either of those items. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Dr. Brads? None at this time, Dr. Brads. We will then ask Mr. Schummel for the finance report.
Good evening. There we go. The first thing we'll start this evening with is the ADM. The good thing about this is they increased 31 students from the last time, which cuts into that deficit Hopefully we'll keep growing right on through the 31st. Unlike in the years past, we would, we start out and we'd lose kids. Basically now we keep growing through the whole year, which is pretty good for us, shows the growth. We're still on track with this budget, $114,178. We're tracking it. And right now we're trying to reconcile the revenues with the state and what we are anticipating from. But right now, overall, the total amount from the state is what we are projected. That's a good thing. This shows you the breakdown of the 114. This is pretty much tracking as budgeted. This is the monthly expenditures by category. The next one is the one that we really track. This shows you what we spend per month per percentage. And right now, the month of September to 9%, that's 1% less than what we spent last year in the month of September. And we've been trucking even at or a little bit less so the whole far this year. And we're trying to hold back just to make sure that all the expenditures are in line and nothing really pop up. And right now, we've had a good year so far with this happening, with this being just a little bit less. And we're right now, as I can say, is we're on track to have a budget. And right after the first of the year is when we start really trying to project the year in. And right now, we're right there at it. Any questions? All right, and that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shomo. Operations report, Dr. O'Brien.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Brads. I'm happy to give the operations report for this month. Facilities and maintenance, as you know, we're still doing the locker bay conversions at Eastern View. I kind of took, actually using some of our security camera footage, I took a before and an after to give you a sense of how those classrooms are going to look and what space they originally were located at, as well as what it looks like from in the classroom itself. As we start to put walls up, they are, again, making really good progress, and we hope we'll meet our January deadline in terms of getting all the walls up and the electronics run and everything else we need to do. We did some painting at Floyd T. Benz with some visitor parking, making sure folks know where to go there, as well as replace the heater in the woman's field house over at Eastern View, and got that new boiler running and operational at Pearl Sample. So a lot of good things happening around the division. At AG, we put a new playground border around and added some wood fiber, again, just to give the kids what I call a fall cushion as they play on some of the equipment that's located there. And did some landscaping over at CCHS. I do appreciate that Dr. Soderholm did tweet that out. It does look good. From the before and after, you could really see how that really adds to the curb appeal of CCHS. And most recently, I've completed our application for the School Construction Assistance Program, and we did get a letter from the Board of Supervisors that actually help in the point process to get approved for that grant. So we do appreciate the efforts of Dr. Brads as well as the Board of Supervisors to approve that and get that letter to me so that we can include that as part of our application. Other items, we did a whole lot of work orders in facilities and maintenance, as well as curb painting, put up some sound panels at Farmington and their music cottage, as well as did multiple TV installs at Sycamore Park. Again, did some work at Farmington with exhaust fan, motor replacement, and did some other things at the high schools as well. And food service, real quick, you could see how we are trending up in part to CEP. So that is increasing our participation, which is great. That's exactly what we want to see as we continue to move and make more progress on the food service side. And this month, our harvest of the month includes green cabbage, and they're going to be serving that at Yale on the 20th and Farmington on the 21st with some what they call cabbage salsa and tortilla chips. I'm sure will be great. And Mallory Grady is our assistant as well from the Farm to School that I've mentioned her name before, but I always like to give her a little bit of shout out as she helps us along that program. In terms of technology, you can see the number of tickets that we've had and how many we've closed. Now, this kind of caught me off guard. I want to make sure I say this right. We are now a part of information sharing networks. One of them in particular is the HSIN, which is the Homeland Security Information Network, and the other one is the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center. Now, you probably asked the question that I did, well, what the heck are these things? Well, what they are a broad consensus of folks who work in technology, and we share cybersecurity information. So the idea is if we get a phishing email from a certain address, or we get hit with what I would call any kind of cyber attack that hits our firewall, we can relay that to this organization and to these groups so that they can also track that information and be aware of threats that exist out there. So it's a great system to belong to. It's a great method of us to being in the know when it comes to threats to our cybersecurity as part of technology. We also, and I took a picture of that one, replaced a voice router. It was extremely old prior to that. It was from 2008, so this new C8300 is supposed to be kind of state-of-the-art in terms of managing our phone systems. As you might know, we don't use twisted pair anymore in the schools. Our phone systems actually run over our Ethernet, over our network, what we call voice over IP. So that's a good step in the right direction to help make sure that we're always positive in our communications and keeping that system working the way it should. In terms of safe schools, our security technician has done some more camera installations in multiple locations. He's also did some work on inventory and purchasing replacement devices for our radios that we continue to do. He's enabled a scan feature for select administrative staff, which is good because we're not always paying attention to everything that's happening in every school. With this, we have the ability to kind of scan along and hear. So, you know, you might wonder, well, does Dr. Brad's or operations know about an event that just happened at Eastern View? Yes, because we have that scanning feature available, so we can always monitor and check and see what's happening at the schools if it comes over the radio. We also participate, or our security technician participated in the school safety meeting. And then finally, transportation. I know I'm going quick, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Stop arm violations. This gives you kind of a rundown in terms of what we got for our stop arms. Now, you know those are the cameras that take pictures of vehicles that are passing our stopped buses with the stop arm deployed and our red lights on. You can see back in August, we had 224 citations. I'm also noting the approval rate, which was 60%, meaning after law enforcement reviewed those video citations that were sent in, they only approved 136 out of the 224 to continue on. Now, for September, we had approval rate of only 52.4%. So we had 292 citations that were reviewed and only 153 were approved. I'll also note that in state, it's about 95%. So we're kind of, I reached out to Bus Patrol to find out if there's something that we might have to do on our side to make sure that the information is being conveyed correctly to the overseeing law enforcement, because we do this in collaboration with our law enforcement, and they make that determination. We just want to make sure all the information is getting to them correctly from Bus Patrol. And then finally, with routing, last month we routed about 6,500 students. We're down a little bit, down to 6,250 this month as of November 6th. Another important data point of a state report that I just completed, we actually exceeded 1 million miles overall last year, which I think was the first time we've done that as a school division. That includes everything from field trips to exclusive miles, which we call our SPED program, special education, where we run students to a lot of locations throughout Virginia, as well as summer school, and also our deadhead miles. At the bottom, I gave you a note of what our regular miles look like from one year to the next. We had an increase of about 9%. So in terms of miles, we're putting a lot more miles on our buses and in our transportation department. Now, we're also still working on an effort to shorten some of those long routes. We did have the success of finding an express shuttle or a 30-passenger minibus. Now, this isn't one of those non-CDL ones that I was hoping to get. Instead, it is, again, a smaller bus that uses a gas engine. we have multiple options we could use this for. And one thing that we will do once we get to the center, the middle of the year, we'll look at where are those longest routes that we could shave some of this time off and use this as that express shuttle to get those students home as quick as possible. So we're still looking at that as an option. Now, this could also be used for, you know, the volleyball team has a game, smaller group events, the golf team, for example, they now have something that's more convenient and not taking one of our larger buses out of circulation to deliver some of those field trips. And then we have our route times, other things that we're doing to improve. We do have still contending with parents not being at their stops when we drop students off. We had 36 incidents through August 31st, and then we've had 27 since then. Results in delays of 5 minutes or more. The trend's improving, but we're still trying to be active, and that's why I like to use this platform to kind of remind parents, make sure you're at the bus stop for those students that are in third grade or below so that we can drop those students off and keep our routes timely. And then finally, we did hire a new bus driver who was a returning employee. We did hire a trip driver, and we have 2 more coming in December as well. We've had 264 routing request changes, and sometimes that's a matter of a student moving from one location to another within the division. Obviously, daycare, things of that. Anytime we have to change the service location, sometimes it could be a morning, sometimes it could be an afternoon. That's a whole lot of changes that our routing specialist has been dealing with. He has 32 that he's working on right now, and as of today, he had 16 others that were added. So that kind of speaks to not just growth within the division, but it also speaks to just the transient population, how some are moving from one location to the other. We also have Stop Finder. We did add 10 more additional users, even though we had some quirks with it recently with the GPS, but I think we've got all that resolved. But we're still getting that to move ahead a bit and get more users using it. I know I said a lot. Any questions?
Are there any questions for Dr. O'Brien? Ms. Hutchins?
The express shuttle bus
Yes, ma'am.
is to get home, not get in the morning. The main purpose is to try to get those students in the far reaches out.
It could be either way.
Okay.
We're still looking at how we're going to incorporate this and what runs we're going to incorporate it on. But the goal is that by doing that, we could really get some of those students who are what we call, you know, they're outliers.
Yep.
When you think about a route going to certain locations along a major artery, you get these few that are out in different locations that really draw a lot of time off of that bus route. And if we could put them on a smaller bus, that we could get them there, not only does it benefit them, it benefits that main bus because they no longer have to make that additional run out to drop that student off on a turnaround road that's 3.5 to 5 miles out and back.
But
So
it
makes
still
all the
requires a
difference.
CDL. It still
It
requires
does.
a bus
It still
driver.
requires a
so we still
CDL,
need
which
bus
again,
drivers.
wasn't my goal, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, we've had no luck at all finding a vehicle that meets the requirements as a school bus and have less than 15 passengers that a non-CDL person could drive.
And one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
Not in your report, the sound system at EV.
It is ongoing. They're still working on that. I know that they've got updated quotes, and they are looking at the equipment and purchasing some of the equipment so that they can start moving on that. That is always an ongoing project with transportation. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Ms.
I
Luckenbill? Oh. Ms.
I
Brown?
just wanted to thank you. The one thing that I've noticed in all your reports is your goal is to find the answers. Like, you know, how hard it must be to try to find a bus that doesn't do this and does do that. The stop arm cameras and everything else. So I really appreciate your willingness to think outside the box, to try to find whatever solution will work so that the community will be better served. And that's very impressive. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. It's a team effort. Absolutely.
Ms. Luckenbill?
The new classrooms at EV, do we know what types of classrooms those will be yet? Or they're
I
not
don't know
designated?
how Dr. Bott plans on utilizing those classrooms, other than the big part is, in the end, we're adding those 6 classrooms that are in the current locker room locations, and then there are 4 others. So he's going to have a total of 10 additional spaces. Now, some of those are already dedicated that he's going to use for certain programming, but the rest of the classrooms are up to him to figure out what utilization he would like to use them for. Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other questions for Dr. O'Brien? Thank you very much, Dr. O'Brien.
Yes, ma'am.
It is now time for board member comments. You went last time. Okay. Ms. Brown, your turn.
I'll have to check the tape. It'd be like that thing you can drop on that commercial replay. Anyway, I don't mind going first at all. The one thing I'd like to point out is that as I listen to the Teachers of the Year, and they are reflective of the teachers in the classroom, and if you listen to the word positivity, positive, role model, was a para, was working at such and such, was doing drafting work for White House or whatever else, you have to be impressed with the type of person that we're drawing. And hopefully what we're having in place for salaries and everything else allows us to keep that going. And as we approach budget time, I just like to mention, we're doing pretty good when you compare us with a lot of places on the type of teacher and type of educator that we have, including custodians and bus drivers and everybody. It's a good place to work, so I appreciate that very much.
Ms. Hutchins?
I would just like to, once again, congratulate those teachers, but also they, as Ms. Brown said, they are reflective of so many others in the classroom that go above and beyond every single day. And that's one thing that I noticed in every single one of those teachers was that they did this, and they did more than was requested or assumed to be contract. They were taking on more responsibilities to provide for the students in any needs that need to be taken care of. I also had the opportunity to attend both middle school plays. They were both fantastic this past weekend or week. Enjoyed those very much. And the Veterans Lunch, where our students shone again, were outshining both the choir and the culinary arts students who did a fantastic job. So again, all of those activities are supported beyond the classroom by our staff, and it is greatly appreciated that we have these opportunities for our students. Thank you.
Ms. Smith?
I just really agree with everything that was said. Had some of it in my mind to say, so I won't repeat it, except that I totally agree. We have fantastic staff, and I think they're supported well, and that's a part of it. So to that, I say thank you.
Ms. Luckenbill? Ms. Desolé?
I guess my thoughts were towards Thanksgiving coming up soon, and today was the perfect meeting. I'm so thankful for our community. The teachers were all fantastic, and the librarians, all the people that were up for the Teacher of the Year. And it just makes me proud of our community and very thankful to live in Culpeper. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Burnett?
Since I'm last, it's kind of a, I know I chose to be last. Anyhow, because, I like to also hear what my fellow board members have to say as well. But I wanted to say that some of the professional experiences of our teachers were amazing. I was just blown away with their experiences, not just in the classroom, but even before they came to us. And the relationships that they had with their students. A lot of comments on the relationships they had and how they wanted their students, to also have those teamwork relationships with their fellow students. And then the comments from their fellow teachers about them and how they're such team players. And that's what I love about this community is that we work so well together and we support each other, and it's imperative that we continue to do that. I went to see Beauty and the Beast, and what a phenomenal production. The sets were amazing, but the choreography, I've never seen such student participation in a play as Beauty and the Beast. I was blown away with how they coordinated, and the choreography with that many participants was amazing. But again, teamwork. You all are the best. Just want to say thank you and hope you all have the best Thanksgiving break. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burnett. I'm last. But aside from that, last week was National Education Week, and I think Culpeper County Public School really outdid itself, especially during last week. We had awards and productions and everything from the athletics, arts, and academics, that our kids were really on the ball all the time. But last week really showed that public education and the National Education Week we did them proud as a school system. So I want to thank all of the teachers and the staff, everybody involved with everything that goes on in our system. We couldn't do it without each and every one of you. Thank you very much. And of course, happy Thanksgiving. And now we will move on to our information items. The summary of our committee reports are on board docs along with our membership. The Substitute Appreciation Week will be November 13th through 17th. That's this week. So don't forget to remember to appreciate our substitute teachers, who we could not do without. And our maintenance department Appreciation Week is December 4th through the 8th. The future meeting dates are listed for our administration committee is November 21st. The Culpeper County School Board retreat is December 1st at the school board office. The finance committee will be meeting December 11th at the county admin office, followed by the regular board meeting on December 11th. Now I will ask, is there a motion to go into closed session?
I move that the school board convene a closed session at 6:52 PM to consider the following personnel matters pursuant to the Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A1. The appointment of classified personnel, the transfer of classified personnel, the separation of certified personnel, the separation of classified personnel, the approval of a long-term substitute for the 23-24 school year, the approval of an instructional supplement for the 23-24 school year, the approval of substitutes for the 23-24 school year, the approval of 23-24 amended winter coaching supplements for CCHS, EVHS, CMS, and FTBMS, and discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose or of the disposition of publicly held real property where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body as permitted by the Code of Virginia 2.2-711A3.
Second.
Thank you. Is there a motion on any debate? No, okay. I'm so goofy. Motion to approve? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we got it.